Ben Shapiro is a conservative. I don't agree with him on almost anything.
Hey everyone. I'm not making this video just to outright bash Cenk. In fact, I mostly agree with him in this case. I just felt that I needed to comment on some things Cenk said and to voice my opinion on certain matters.
He's taken me on in the past, bless his heart. And some of his positions are perfectly normal. They're conservative positions, I understand. Some of them are a little beyond the pale, if you ask me. In fact, he's changed his position on the Palestinians.
That is because he is an honest man who is willing to change his opinion if he is shown demonstrably to be wrong.
He thought first that their claims to statehood were ridiculous. I don't want to get into all of his past positions.
I don't want to get into all of his past positions. I'm just going to list a lot of them and then say I don't want to get into them.
But he backtracked on that. But I've also backtracked on positions. So fair is fair.
He's backtracked, you've both backtracked. Why does it matter? Why are you bringing it up?
And he's had his moments of principle as well. He recently left Breitbart when they mishandled the Michelle Fields situation. At the same time, there was some acts of journalism on his part that were not acts of journalism.
Kind of like how you openly lied about something Sarah Palin supposedly said, and then when you were called out on it, you just deleted the video and then non-apology apologized. Yeah, Baring did a pretty good video on it. I'll link it in the description. But yeah, I'll also link your non-apology apology video. And in it, instead of apologizing like a normal, decent human being, you just took more time to attack Sarah Palin instead of like actually apologizing.
Again, when he went to what I would call smear Chuck Hagel on his connection to Hamas.
What I would call smearing Sarah Palin on her quotes about Black Lives Matter.
Which turned out to be not true at all. Now, I tell you all this is background because
unnecessary and irrelevant background at that. You're literally only hurting yourself by showing yourself to be a complete hypocrite.
I'm about to defend Ben Shapiro. So he was apparently invited to speak at DePaul, and that invitation has now been withdrawn. He was asked to speak by a Young Americans for Freedom chapter there, but then DePaul's administrators decided that he could not speak. In fact, here's John Minster, DePaul Young Americans for Freedom chapter vice chairman, saying, given the experience and security concerns that some other schools have had with Ben Shapiro speaking on their campuses, DePaul cannot agree to allow him to speak on our campus at this time. That's unfortunate. I think that that's the wrong decision.
And I'm really glad we agree on that, Cenk, because I too believe that DePaul made the wrong decision. As a university, their job is free discussion of ideas, education, idea sharing.
So now, let me give you Ben Shapiro's quotes on this. He makes himself a little hard to defend at times, but we're going to do it anyway. He says, it's both pathetic and predictable that the university is happy to grant a veto on speakers to snowflake leftists, so long as the leftists threaten violence.
I don't know. Snowflake seems like an adequate representation of what they are. They're fragile and can't take the heat.
Okay. Snowflake leftists, I know. Is that clever?
I don't know why it's clever. I don't know what that really means. Anyway, all these guys have all these different little insults for people who are progressive and think they're very cute.
Nonetheless, I'm with him on this issue. You got to let him speak. I know some of the arguments are, well, their student funds are used, and we don't want our funds going to conservatives who have these obnoxious opinions, terrible opinions.
You're incapable of going 5 minutes without just taking a little stab at Ben Shapiro or his ideas or the conservative movement in general.
And by the way, I just happened to mention the Hamas, etc.
I just have to sneak in my little stab at him. It's been like a whole 30 seconds. And it's irrelevant, Cenk. You've already mentioned it. It bears no relevance. Why? Why do you mention it at all? It makes no sense.
But he's got right-wing positions up and down the line.
A conservative has right-wing ideas.
And there's many things to disagree with him on. So I know, but at the same time, we all invite speakers, and if we start nitpicking each other's speakers, I don't want you to spend money on that, and I don't want you to spend money on that, then we're never going to have any speakers. Or we're only going to have the speakers that are pre-approved. I don't want to live in that world.
I absolutely agree with you on this, Cenk. In fact, this is the reason I liked my first Young Turks video in 3 years, because I absolutely agree with you that they should be allowed to speak. However, you keep making these little attacks. You can't help yourself. It's annoying. It doesn't make sense. Why?
And guys, if you think he's an insane right-winger, then you've got nothing to worry about.
Exactly this. I wish more people understood this. Sunlight is the best disinfectant.
So this is the same thing that radical Muslims do sometimes. Don't let them speak. Do not insult the Prophet Muhammad. Well, if you're so sure the Prophet Muhammad is right, why don't you let them speak? What difference does it make? So, I'll give you one more quote from Shapiro. He said, "This is how free speech dies, when people in power cave to the bullies rather than standing up for basic rights." There's an element of truth to that. That's why I'm defending here and disagreeing with DePaul.
That look on your face, I don't know what it is, but it is just annoying as all hell. So the most of the rest of the video can be cut out. So we'll jump to about here.
So if one of these troll right-wingers goes to speak at your campus, don't do anything. Let them speak. About 12 dorks
will show up, and then that's actually what will
Make them really upset. They'll go home crying. Oh, only 12 dorks and bow ties showed up. I didn't get any of the spotlight. So, okay, yeah, now back to Shapiro. But I'm telling you, I don't even let the troll speak because I don't want to nitpick what other groups are allowed to bring on as speakers, who they're allowed to bring on, who they're not allowed. If it's a legitimate group and they've invited somebody, let them speak. There's no harm in it.
You're correct, Cenk, but I only wish more of your followers understood this.
And for Shapiro, great, share your conservative opinions that are totally wrong, that are really easy to defeat.
Debate him. If you think his views are that easy to defeat, you should have no problem beating him in a debate.
There's no harm in that at all. Just let him go. Let him go. And college, especially college, is a place where we're supposed to exchange ideas. There's nothing to worry about in that case. There's nothing to fear. Okay, and if a couple of your dollars went to a guy you really, really don't like, don't worry. A bunch of their dollars went to a whole bunch of people they don't like either when you brought them on as speakers. And that's how we have an exchange of ideas.
Thank you, Cenk. I want to thank you for making this video. It's shown that a broken clock is truly right twice a day.